Good evening and thank you for joining us on News 360. I am Noble Crosby Annan.
And I am Ayisha Yakubu. These are the headlines for this evening.
News 360 Headlines is brought to you by
Flamingo Paint,
Pedestrian Charcoal and Pedestrian Herbal,
EcoBank.
Rail transport to begin October 1 on Tema and Pakadan line as Ghana Railway Authority rushes to revive national rail network.
Tonight, rice farmers in northern Ghana complain about low market prices and inadequate support from the government.
We'll also explore how the changing face of urban life is putting a strain on children who spend long hours in school while busy parents earn a living.
We have details of these stories and a lot more coming to you. If you stay with us, we're live also on all our social media platforms at TV3 Ghana. Let's get interactive there, but let's start the bulletin from here.
Founding member of the New Patriotic Party, Dr. Nyaho Tamaklo, has called on government to hold traditional leaders responsible for the Galamsey menace. He criticized traditional leaders for not banning the practice in their communities before it escalated.
Chiefs are supposed to be the custodians of the land. And I get very much surprised that we have the chiefs around and we don't see them do anything. I have not seen them in any active involvement in stopping this Galamsey. Now, mind you, there's no land anywhere in this country which doesn't belong to anybody. So if the chiefs claim maybe the land he is on is not for him, government should go after the owners of the land. The owners of the land will lead us to the what do you call it, the big shots behind this destruction of our vegetation and everything. The owners of the land. If the chiefs are the owners of the land, then they have not helped the country at all, because then they should have been the first people to ban their own people from entering to these areas.
Do you think they are benefiting from?
But that I can't tell. That I can't tell. As I said, Frimpong Boateng came out with an extensive work. We all saw it. And it was on the decks of the president, then president, for 2 years plus. Because certain names were mentioned and he wouldn't like to let them be made known to the public. So whether they benefit or not, that I can't tell. But why should they be quiet? Why should they be quiet?
Now, from mining to the rail sector, a major boost is back. Rail transport is set to commence on the 99-kilometer Tema and Pakadan Railway line on October 1. The Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Railway Development Authority, Dr. Frederick Apple, says this is part of efforts to revive rail transport in the country.
The Tema and Pakadan rail line forms part of the Ghana-Burkina Faso Railway Interconnectivity Project. The rail line will link Ghana from Tema to Mpakadan, where domestic freight movement will then be transported on the Volta Lake to the northern part of Ghana and Burkina Faso. The rail line aims to create a multimodal transportation network involving road, rail, and lake transport. Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Railway Development Authority, Dr. Frederick Apple, gave details of the train operation.
And we'll be running the trains on 1st October from Afenya to Tema Harbour and from Afenya to Adome.
If you say from Afenya to Tema, how is it going to be like?
So from Afenya to Tema, we are going to run from Afenya to Tema. You go up to 5 stations, so you run from Afenya to Tema, and from there Tema Harbour to Afenya, and we run another train from Afenya to Adome. So we have got 2 DMUs which will be operating on the 1st of October.
He added that additional trains will be procured in coming days.
In the morning, we have the peak period, 5 o'clock to 10 o'clock. So 5 o'clock to 10 o'clock, we are going to move every 45 minutes. So every 45 minutes, the trains will be moving between now. And also, the peak period also starts from 3 to 7 p.m. These are peak period. People have completed work, they are going home. So we are going to run the train every 45 minutes.
7 train stations have been built along the rail line to assist in the transportation of passengers. Joseph Armstrong, Good Alibwe TV3, Accra.
Now, management of the Volta River Authority VRA says the Akosombo Dam has the capacity to last for 40 more years following retrofitting work. During a tour by the Committee on Energy, Chairman of the committee, Emmanuel Kwesi Pedra, said VRA should be strengthened to take charge of at least 60% of energy generation in Ghana.
The Volta River Authority, VRA, was established in 1961 by the first president, Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, with the mandate to generate and supply electricity for socio-economic development under the Volta River Development Act, Act 46. With an amendment to the Act within the context of the Ghana government power sector reforms in 2005, the VRA's mandate has now been largely restricted to generation of electricity. The amendment has created an enabling environment to attract independent power producers, IPPs, into Ghana's energy generation. As the country's major source of power production for the past 60 years, authorities say the Akosombo Dam has undergone retrofitting to last 40 more years. Chairman of the Parliamentary Committee on Energy, Emmanuel Kwesi Pedra, briefed the media during a tour.
Our issue now is how do we protect this asset that has been here for the past 60 years. How do we protect it? And how do we make sure that there will be sustainability to continue to be here for the next 40 years? We asked all these questions and we're told that the retrofitting or the maintenance of the facility has increased the lifespan to another 40 years. Clearly, it shows that for the next 40 years, we still have hydro generation into our power generation. And so
he further called for VRA to be given some leverage as the nation's power producer.
One recommendation will be that Akosombo or VRA should be given some, space to increase their generation into at least 60%, so that others can also take over. Why? Because you see, this is a government establishment. This is an institution that will not be looking for profit other than others. I'm not saying the IPPs are not needed. IPPs are needed, but let's encourage the public establishment to produce more power than. So our recommendation to the floor will be to amend the VRA law, because we've noticed that the limitation on VRA is there. But if we can amend the law, the VRA can take a chunk of the power production.
Ranking member on the committee, George Kwame Abuaji, shared similar sentiments. The committee earlier in the week visited the Electricity Company of Ghana, the Ghana Grid Company Limited, GridCo, Energy Commission, and the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission, PURC. Joseph Armstrong, Good Alibwe TV3, Akosombo, Eastern Region.
Now to up north, rice farmers in the northern part of the country, they are raising concerns about low market prices for their produce and inadequate support from government affecting both production and processing of the product. Now the farmers feel government initiatives, while intending to help, do not fully address the challenges they face.
Rice is a critical staple and a crucial part of the agricultural economy in many nations. Many governments often implement policies to boost domestic production to meet demand and improve food security by sometimes imposing import bans. Rice contributes to about 15% of Ghana's gross domestic product, GDP, with annual rice consumption in Ghana being approximately 1.5 million metric tons, or around 47 kilograms per person. The top 5 main producing regions in Ghana are Northern, Volta, Upper East, Oti, and Ashanti. The rice value chain, made up of input dealers, smallholder farmers, logisticians, processors, and distributors, employs more than 500,000 people. Despite its importance, local rice production in Ghana faces challenges, especially access to markets and distribution channels, with thousands of metric tons of rice remaining unsold each year. Farmers lament the situation has led to rice glut in many parts of the country. There is no market for the rice this year. I have several bags of the rice at home, yet no one is even asking to buy a bag. This year, the situation is too bad. I have over 50 acres of rice, and in a week's time, I will start harvesting. Meanwhile, the 2024 rice I harvested is still in my warehouse. Government must do something.
Thousands of paddy rice bagged in this warehouse that are yet to be processed. But since February this year, most companies are yet to mill even a grain of rice because the already milled rice is not selling. On September 8th, the Association of Rice Producers and Processors in Ghana petitioned government to look into the surplus rice that they have.
We came together as a body and wrote a petition to the president asking, we are not even asking too much. What we are saying is that they have to involve the national security to be able to work closely with the GRA, the Ghana, the Customs Service, so that they'll be able to close down the borders to not allow those bringing the rice through those areas without paying tax. They should work on that. And also, we are asking the government to direct buffer stock and also direct all the Ghana armed forces that they should rather consume the local rice instead of spending the taxpayers' money on the imported rice.
The Ministry of Food and Agriculture on September 23 issued a statement directing the National Buffer Stock Company to purchase surplus grains from farmers. The initiative, according to the ministry, is to protect farmers from financial losses over the bumper harvest they've had. But the question farmers are asking is that will this solve the problem?
No, this is just a temporary problem for last year's farmers, produce that the farmers are holding. What of this year's party? And also, I want to find out from the government if they are is buffer store having a rice mill that they are buying to process? So they should have come to the millers, buy from the processors the mill rice that we are having. They should have directed the buffer stock to buy those ones, then to give us the capacity or the amount, the money to be able to buy from the farmers. But if you are buying the grain from the farmers, do you have any processing machine that you are coming to process it? And that one will not even alleviate the problem.
But how can government deal with the rice glut in the country?
What government must do immediately is to put up policies that all government expenditure on rice should be based on local rice, not foreign rice. If that one is even able to do it, I think it will help us. And also, if the government is able to involve national security to work with Ghana Customs Service, they will be able to stop those bringing the rice from unapproved routes.
The Rice Producers and Processors Association of Ghana has threatened to embark on a massive demonstration on October 8th if government fails to address their concerns. Christopher Mwako, TV3 News, Nasia, Northeast Region.
Now let's turn our attention to education. For many urban families, school is not just a place of learning anymore. It has become an all-day, all-year solution for childcare. From dawn drop-offs to after-school clubs, vacation classes, and weekend programs, children barely step outside an academic schedule. But what does this unending school cycle mean for family life and childhood itself? There's more in this report. In the capital, Accra, and many peri-urban neighborhoods, the school bell never truly stops ringing, thanks to the busy parent schedule and increasingly close-knit nuclear families. Children now spend more time in school than at home. For some of these children, a typical weekday begins way before the cock crows and sometimes ends way past dinner time. They are dropped off for early bed care, stay for lessons, then head straight to co-curricular activities like swimming, piano lessons and others before evening pickup.
Just imagine a 2-year-old child being dropped off at 6:30 and that parent goes to work, will come back like 6 p.m. The relationship, the bonding, those hours shouldn't be taken from them. But it looks as if of late, the children are not having that bonding with most of the parents because of their work schedules. And so the parenting aspect is coming more on the schools.
For parents with busy jobs and long commutes, schools have become a lifeline, taking on roles that used to be filled by close family, especially grandparents and neighborhoods. Childcare costs, long working hours and traffic jams mean parents depend on schools to fill almost every gap.
My child spends 10 hours to 11 hours in school because sometimes we come early and then she leaves very late. Sometimes I get worried because of the workload sometimes at work. And I'm urging employers to sometimes consider us, we the young mothers, okay, to close a little bit early.
There must be a balance, just that it's difficult. Obviously, there will be more school time than they are with you, especially if you're a parent who works on weekends. It's extremely difficult. The school actually takes much of the time, but the little we have, we are also trying to create that balance.
The schools have very much noticed the need and are introducing varied schemes to cater for the varied family needs. Most schools in Accra offer breakfast clubs, homework sessions, sports camps, and even weekend language lessons. The aim is to keep children safe, stimulated, and off the streets while parents work.
If their children normally go home, what happens is that if they don't have proper supervision at home, their homework and learning becomes a bit difficult. But here we supervise them to do their homework and also to have free environment to explore.
This is taking a toll on all parties involved. Overworked school workers and teachers, fatigued children and financially stressed parents. But the intended beneficiaries are worryingly the biggest losers. Pupils yawning through classes, struggling to concentrate, and above all, having little family bonding and nurturing time.
We are overburdening children, and once you do that, you are taking certain things from them that will not help them. You see the change in their sleeping pattern, and that affects them a lot because there are certain periods that children are active, and there are certain periods that they are not active. You truncate that process, and you make it unstable for them. There's a need for us to have a time that we can close early, so that children can go home, and then also study the home environment and how they can adjust.
I foresee that the situation will get worse. I think that parents will spend less time with their children as time goes on. The child spends 16 years of his life in the educational system. So the focus of every parent, the focus of the society should now be the curriculum. If this curriculum is not designed to mold the total personality of the child, we are heading for distraction.
They say the solution lies in flexible workplaces, community childcare support, and a shift in priorities at home.
When children are learning, it takes the home and the school to be able to train the child very well. So, and you cannot deny the child any of this at any particular time.
So we need to structure it in such a way that we balance it so that the home training that children are supposed to get, they get it well. And then when they come to the school and what the school can also offer them, they also get it.
In as much as we as parents are trying to make ends meet and get things done, we also need to find a balance between how we leave these children in the hands of the school and get a little time to be with them. And that is why in other places or in families where there's a little resources, you see that the entire family decides that within this period you are going on a vacation, where the father, the mother, the children get bonded more.
Childhood should be more than just a timetable. Experts say a balance of learning, play, and family connection is key to raising healthy, resilient children. But as long as urban life keeps parents pressed for time, schools may continue to double as second homes, making it an unending cycle. Ayisha Yakubu, TV3 News, Accra.
Away from that, in 1995, Ghana connected to the internet for the first time, a move that would go on to reshape communication, business, education, and culture. Now, 30 years on, internet access has become nearly essential, but it has not come equally or easily for all. Annan Ayisha traces Ghana's digital journey from cyber cafes to coding apps.
It was the year 1995. Ghana, a young democracy with a population of over just 17 million, took a bold step into the digital age. With support from the Ghana Network Information Center and the father of Internet, Professor Nina Kukweno, the country gained access to the World Wide Web, becoming one of the first sub-Saharan African nations to go online. At the time, few Ghanaians had personal computers. Internet cafes became the digital gateways, slow, costly, but exciting.
My first use of the internet would have been 30 years ago, maybe. That makes me feel old all of a sudden. We had to create our first emails. At the time I was preparing to go to secondary school. I think I was going to pre-sec at the time.
I started using it from primary school. So maybe early around class 6, class 5, thereabout.
Back then, connections relied on dial-up modems and telephone lines. Speed was measured in kilobytes. Download took hours, yet the internet was spreading. One cafe, one connection at a time.
There was life, but it was much slower. Okay. If you wanted to make a telephone call, at one point you had to go to the general post office. So the travel to that place was itself a problem. If you are fortunate and your house or facility happens to have one of the very few fixed telephone lines, then you have your friends come there to wait for a call from overseas.
In 1997, Ghana registered its first GH domain. By the early 2000s, internet cafes had popped up in every major city. In 2008, the arrival of the submarine fiber optic cables transformed the landscape, bringing faster, more reliable internet. The 2010s saw a mobile boom. Today, more than 23 million Ghanaians are online, over 70% of the population. From sending money and attending classes, to ordering transport or food, to finding work, the internet is now embedded in everyday life.
So I personally work from home, and so I need it like 24/7. I always need to be connected because you don't know when you might have to get on to do something for work. But apart from having to use it for work, for banking services, to transfer money to families and friends, for entertainment, I'm actually out of home now, but here I don't have a television because I know I have a laptop, I have internet access. Whatever it is, whatever movie, whatever show I want to watch, I can still watch it on my computer because, of course, the internet is available.
But access is not equal. While Ghana's digital landscape has expanded, affordability remains a challenge. The average cost of mobile data is around 4.2 Ghana cedis per gigabyte. cheaper than a decade ago, yes, but still costly for low-income and rural communities.
I don't calculate the cost of that thing, but I know the cost is so high. But what can we do? It is the same as the rent that I said. You cannot do anything because you need it. You need your information. You go online and do it.
Now, when you buy the data, the short time, the data just finished. So the government can try and do something about the prices. I think we'll be happy.
Despite the barriers, a generation of Ghanaians is building, designing, and launching new ideas that were once unimaginable, although more can be done.
Meaning, I don't want to be just a user. I want to be one building and participating in the development of those things as well. So I have to have confidence that I am able to do. It's not been easy, but there are still opportunities ahead, and it's up to us, our commitment to participation, but on the supply side. If we can focus on that and put our investments on the supply side, I'm sure we're going to be successful.
To bridge the digital divide, government initiatives like the Rural Telephony Project and the Digital Ghana Agenda aim to reach 95% of the population by 2030. But with the growth comes responsibility. Data protection, digital literacy, and cybersecurity are recent concern.
There's already some conversation around data protection. I think what we would need to improve maybe is our own personal securities also. We are putting a lot of personal and corporate information out there on the internet. What that also means is that we are opening our doors to other people. And there's a question we normally ask in cybersecurity: who's sleeping with you on your phone? Who's sleeping with you on your internet, on your profile? These are informations that bad people can curate for some time and then, end up impersonating you. I think that we need to improve the conversation around what are the challenges that come of the use of the internet.
30 years ago, the internet in Ghana was a curiosity. Today, it's a necessity. As we look ahead, the challenge is not just about connections, it's about meaningful access, innovation, and inclusion. Because the next 30 years are being written today. Enyuna Malika, TV3 News, Accra.
Stay with us here on News 360. We have some more news right after the break. For staying with us on News 360, let's bring you some more stories now. Family planning is not only about health, but also about building stronger households and a better nation. In the following report, my colleague Sarah Pencro highlights the need to make an informed choice for a healthier family outcome.
In Ghana, where large families are a common phenomenon, it is important that families ensure they can provide the best possible future for their children. There are different methods of family planning, including condoms, pills, and implants that a family can explore to allow them to space out their pregnancies. However, many families fail to make informed choices about their reproductive health, affecting their quality of life in the process. Millicent is a young trader who is well informed about family planning choices. She tells me that she and her partner have agreed to have 3 children with a 3-year spacing gap to enable them to take proper care of their children economically.
Concerning my work and what I planned for my future, I think the intervals will be 3 years when I'm having my kids. It's a good thing, mostly for those who are poor. With them, they are known for giving birth in large quantity, because when they have plenty babies, it will raise high rates of unemployment in the country.
Likewise, Ni, an Okada rider, he is hopeful his partner would make the informed decision looking at their situation after having 4 children.
We are both working, so we were spacing the children. Now we have 4, so I will want her to go back and do it, looking at the situation on the ground.
Generally, many women and men have a good understanding of the need to plan a family, although some have had bad experiences using one method or another.
I stopped because I was having issues, but I recommend it for those who have many children.
I
haven't done some before, but you must give birth to a number of children you can afford to cater for.
Although Ghana has chalked significant success, including improving maternal and child health, increased economic opportunities, and empowerment, gaps like funding, shortages in contraceptives, and cultural and religious barriers continue to hinder progress.
As a country, we knew that there is something that one day will be called donor fatigue. So government in itself has made preparations and gradually trying to increase the government's support in trying to acquire the family planning commodities.
The director of the Family Planning Health Division at the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Kennedy Brightson, says the service is intensifying collaborations with various stakeholders to ensure no one is left behind as Ghana works towards its pledge on the FP 2030.
By 2030, family planning should be a thing that should be easily accessible. To control the number of children you have has nothing to do with your religious beliefs. You want to have this number of children. You know what you are doing. You know how much you earn as an individual. How do you go having 5, 6, 10 children?
This year, the Family Planning Week is on the theme Empowering Choices, Strengthening Families, Building Ghana's Future.
The impact of family planning remains enormous. Make an informed choice today for a brighter future for yourself and your family. Sarah Apenkru, TV3 News, Accra.
And still on health this time as we approach October, the 5th edition of Pinktober, an initiative focused on increasing public awareness about breast cancer, has been launched with high expectations. The campaign, spearheaded by the Breast Society of Ghana, serves as a platform to support patients and survivors while raising critical funds for research and care.
Celebrated as Breast Cancer Awareness Month. The celebration is to help increase attention and support for awareness, early diagnosis and treatment. This year's edition of Pinktober aims not only to encourage people to wear pink, but also to raise greater awareness and support in the fight against breast cancer. Member of the Breast Society of Ghana, Dr. Mary Ann Dazi, outlined the various signs and symptoms that women should look out for in their breast.
One thing the women should know is that most of these lesions are not painful. So a lot of times when they feel a mass, they'll tell you that it wasn't painful. So I thought it was nothing. A lot of them are not painful. Sometimes it's just reddening and swelling. Sometimes it's just changing the size of the breast. Sometimes it's just the nipple that has changed, has pulled in a bit. And sometimes you can find a clear lump. Other times it's just skin changes. And remember, you may find nothing in the breast, but find something in the armpits. Sometimes it is pain, and this information is to get to everybody.
President of the Breast Society of Ghana, Dr. Josephine Nsafo, called on various organizations to lend support in the fight against breast cancer.
Across the country, if you need radiotherapy, you have to travel. And it's not one-day treatment. You have to travel, you have to come and look for accommodation in Accra or Kumasi to access the facilities. So really it's a challenge for our patients and their families. So we are advocating and appealing that we get radiotherapy machines at all the regions for a start. That would be a huge help.
NP for Nanton and member of the Health Committee of Parliament, Abdul Khalik Mohammed Sharif, pledged full support of the legislature.
We have noticed the infrastructure gap. We have noticed the gap in terms of equipment. We have noticed the gap in terms of human resource. So as representatives of the people, we are putting together a report to share with the minister so that together we can find very good short, medium and long-term solutions to the problem. To the Breast Society of Ghana, that government is not sleeping. In a few words, we can tell them there is help coming.
Mass messaging, community engagement and a walk are expected to follow the launch. About 2,300 out of 5,000 people diagnosed with breast cancer every year in Ghana die of the disease. The way forward in the fight against breast cancer, as the campaign emphasizes, is to detect it early, treat it right, and survive it.
Peace, pageantry and tradition prevailed at the climax of the Damba festival in Bole as deployment by the IGP Special Operations Team ensured that the celebrations unfolded without a hitch. There's more in the following report.
On Saturday, September 27, 2025, the Police Special Operations Team conducted operations across the Bole district, reinforcing its mandate to safeguard law, order and public safety. A briefing session was held for personnel by their leaders before departing to the field.
Let us show professionalism by staying put and scanning the area so that when they are called upon to take action, decisively you deal with any threat. Is that clear? Yes, sir.
The day's operations started with the deployment of 77 personnel, backed by 8 service vehicles and 10 motorbikes, under the command of DSP Augustine Dawson Amwa, DSP Karim Mahama, ASP Bawa Abdul Jalil, and ASP Kweku Philip Pedestrian. The police team converged on the Bolivia Palace, where the annual Damba Festival climax was observed. The Deba brought together dignitaries from adjoining traditional areas, including Bunawura from Cote d'Ivoire, the Tingarura, Bandarura, Solara, Kakiasirura, and several other traditional leaders. Also in attendance were representatives from the Office of the President, the Member of Parliament for Bole Bamboy, Yusuf Suleimana, and the District Chief Executive. Hundreds of indigents from far and near returned home to participate in the festival. The Bolero, Safo Kutuje Feso I, while addressing his subject, urged calm and unity while calling for central government support to develop the region. The use of musketry during the festival was limited. The visible police presence reassured celebrants of their safety and prevented any breaches of peace.
Aho! 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 Yes. It's standard. Gilly gonna. Yeah, gilly gonna. Abibo.
Away from that to some other stories tonight, 58 lives have been lost over the past 7 years at the Madina-Zongo junction because pedestrians have refused to use the footbridge and instead use the busy and full highway. Should this practice continue, the Assembly projects the death toll to inch closer to 100 by the end of 2026. Judge Queening has more in this report.
In October 2019, more than 110 pedestrians were arrested for not using the footbridge. The story remains the same, nothing has changed. The pedestrians here are risking their lives for their convenience.
58 lives have been lost here due to the fact that pedestrians are ignoring to use the footbridge and rather using the main road. So if things continue to remain the same, more lives will be lost here. The footbridge, it'll be too long for us. So if you the climber, your legs all the pain. And at the same time, see where the footbridge is. You see, here's the main junction. So when you are pressing, it makes tough time.
I shouldn't have done that because I ordered my card and I don't want the driver to keep waiting. So I hurry trying to cross.
So next time will you use the footbridge?
Yes, I'll try.
You promise?
Yes, I promise.
You're not supposed to pass here. I'm not supposed to pass here. You're supposed to use the footbridge. My parents will have passed here. So your parents? Who are your parents? So next time use the footbridge.
But there are those concerned about their lives and doing the needful.
A preventive accident be brave. So what said don't cry now, I will be see. No, could be here.
The footbridges prevent accidents. No matter the distance, you surely get to your destination. These crashes are needless.
Ato, who is a driver, has witnessed crashes severally at the junction.
Crashes happen here all the time. I almost knocked down a pedestrian the last time.
This is the nature of the footbridge. According to most of the pedestrians, it's very long and winding. It's a reason they would rather prefer using the main road despite the dangers.
Villa in Quantana Madina Municipal Assembly landmark is considering altering the architecture of the footbridge for easier usage.
I can't knock people within that stretch from, let's say, from Atomic Junction to Reese Junction for almost about 57, 55 people. And most of them are dead. Some have dislocated arm, dislocated legs that cannot be as the person that he used to be. So I believe that if you want your life, then it is better you focus using the bridge than to cross within the streets, because a car can knock you easily and you lose your life, which is more dangerous.
The Assembly says it will deploy 50 military personnel to man the area from Tuesday, September 30, in an operation meant to be piloted for 3 months. George Queening, TV3 News, Madina, Accra.
You're watching News 360. We're going on a break. When we come back, we have sports news for you. Stay with us.
Honey, new supper, and a pat evaporated milk. Ooh. Tasty and creamy, right? So. And a
Cup after a hard-fought aggregate 5-3 win over Nigerian side Kwara United, setting up a mouth-watering clash with Moroccan giants Wydad AC.
John Mark robbed off possession. Yes, Amidu Peter. Back to his captain. And he has a chance for Anderson! Asante Kotoko score! What an incredible strike from Hubert Giaru to give the Porcupine Warriors the lead.
Moving on, Heart of Lions continued their impressive start to the Ghana Premier League with a 1-0 victory over Bichim United at the Pandu Sports Stadium on Sunday. The decisive moments came from substitute Michael Efson, who was introduced at the start of the second half. Vision FC shook off their heavy defeat to Mediama to beat visiting Hoho United 2-0 at the Ni Eje Kraku Second Sports Complex on Sunday. Mediama themselves were defeated 1-0 by Karela at the Aliu Mahama Stadium in Tamale. Nations FC were held to a goalless draw by FC Samatex at the Dr. Kwame Che Sports Complex on the match day 3. Let's move on to women's football, where the Black Princesses have progressed to the next round of the Under-20 World Cup qualifiers after defeating Morocco 2-0 at the Accra Sports Stadium, making it 4-0 on aggregate. Akosi Eje has more in this report.
With a 4-0 aggregate score advantage for the Black Princesses, they have successfully sailed through to the third round of qualifiers for the U20 Women's World Cup, which will be staged in Poland in 2026. What this qualification means is that the team will be playing in the next phase of qualifiers against South Africa, who defeated Eswatini 9-0 on aggregate. Coach Al Sampson is very optimistic about qualifying to the fourth and final round of qualification.
I'm an ambitious person, and when I got the offer from the FA, there was very clear objectives that they want the team to qualify for the World Cup and also to do well at the World Cup. These are the two things that I've been told. And I'm also a person that wants to challenge. So I take it in good faith, and I'm working very hard that it will come to reality.
As they are on a mission to qualify for the 8th time to the U20 Women's World Cup. From the Accra Sports Stadium, my name is Akosia Eje.
Moving on, the University of Development Studies has written a golden chapter in Ghana's sporting history after clinching the 2025 FISU World University Football Championship in Dalian, China. In a thrilling and momentous final at the 2025 World University Games, the UDS of Ghana etched their name into the annals of sporting history by defeating the defending champions Paulista University of Brazil by 2-1. With this victory, UDS becomes the first African university to win the prestigious global tournament, a feat that has sent waves of pride and celebration throughout the continent. And their triumph in China caps off a golden year for university after already claiming gold at the Ghana University Games and the Africa University Games.
The University for Development Studies of Ghana. Okay, here we go. 1 minute of extra time to deliver a corner to potentially win the match for UDS. Oh! It's a goal! It's a goal! Jamila! 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 Helwa! 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 As they say in.
Now to our final story. As part of a wider goal of actively including women in sport and improving the health of office workers, the Association of Women's Accountants Ghana put together an action-packed sporting event at the University of Ghana's Athletic Oval. There's more in the following report.
In a move aimed at celebrating wellness, togetherness, as well as recharging and connecting with family, the Association of Women's Accountants Ghana put together a host of fun activities, including tag of peace, 60-meter dash, lime and spoon race, ludo, oware, and penalty shootout, among others. The event, which brought together both young and old, was carried out much to the satisfaction of the Association of Women's Accountants Ghana President, Ekeabunsuowu.
It has been fun. You see the way we are bonding. We have brought our families together. We have moved away from our debits and our credits, our deadlines, the stress.
The president further entreated office workers to find a balance while keeping their health as a priority.
It shouldn't only be you being in the office pressure. You need to balance your life in all aspects. You see, our slogan is AWAC. We are balancing. As women accountants, we balance in all fields. We balance.
As AWAC raises awareness for a balanced life through sports, the undeniable workload remains daunting.
By way of updates in the CAF Champions League, JS Kabylie are currently leading BBNE Gold Stars by 5-0 and 7-0 on aggregate. Bringing an end to the sports segment here on News 360. My name is Pedestrian. Over to you, Ayisha and Crosby.
Right, Bill, thank you so much for sports. And that's it for this evening's edition of News 360. As always, you can find more news on 3news.com. I am Ayisha Yakubu.
And I am Noble Crosby Annan. Thank you for spending your evening with us. Good evening. Bye-bye.